Hello, GotAUkulele.com, back with another instrument review. It's another return for the Ohana brand on GotAUkulele Reviews. This is a new model for them in their entry-level range of ukuleles. It's a Soprano. It is the Ohana Ukulele's SK-14 Soprano. Regular readers may know that I did a sort of shootout of entry levels a couple of years ago, including the Ohana SK-10, which I said was a bit plain looking. This is essentially the same sort of thing. It's a laminate mahogany bodied soprano, but it's got some more finishing touches to it which kind of take it up a stage. Still a pretty cheap ukulele though. So we've got fairly standard scale double bout soprano ukulele, all laminate mahogany. Looks great, finished in a satin. It's absolutely flawless, and unlike that SK-10, we've got the addition of edge binding on the top in black, white, black. We've got a black, white, black soundhole rosette and black edge binding on the sides. I'm not a big one for bling, as people know, but little things like that can really just lift an instrument a little bit. It looks nice. It looks traditionally Martin ukulele style. There are worse brands to be mimicking and doffing your cap to, I'm sure you will agree. We've got a rosewood slotted bridge style with some sort of tapered edges. Makes for really easy string changing, and that synthetic nut is uncompensated, but you'll see has been chamfered off to match the edges. I like little touches like that. Looking inside, nice and tidy, no notched kerfing, but no glue spots, delicate bracing, pretty tidy build. Yeah, not bad at all. Slightly arched back, and the back, top and sides are made from a single piece. That's a single piece side, single piece top, single piece back. The mahogany neck is pretty traditionally Chinese built in terms of profile and width. It's made of three pieces, but the joints are really well hidden. We've got a joint at the heel and a joint at the headstock. Topping that, rosewood fingerboard, really nice and even in colour, and a departure from most sopranos, in fact, or rather most entry-level sopranos. We have 15 nickel silver frets. Normally you'd get 12 to the body, and that's where they would stop, and people complain about that, and rightly so. This has got 12 to the body and 15 to the edge of the fretboard. I like that. We've got position markers in pearloid, mother of pearl inlaid dots at the 5th, 7th and 10th. Sadly, no position markers on the side. The edges of the fingerboard are not bound, but they're stained to hide the edges, and the finger fret edges are really, really smooth. Moving on, synthetic nut. The setup, incidentally, at the nut and the saddle on this review model was just fine. And we go to that really kind of classy looking Ohana curved headstock shape. I like the Ohana logo. That's inlaid in pearl, and it's added to by that more of that binding and edge finishing that we've got on the body. I think it makes that headstock look really, really classy. I think you'll agree. I like that. It's nice. Flip it over. We've got open geared generic tuners. I'd rather see friction pegs on a soprano, as you know, but these at least have very small, pretty classy again, pearloid white buttons, so they don't look too bad, I don't think. They're a little bit loose on turning, but they do hold. Completing the deal, Aquila strings, what else? The pricing, these are brand new, so you're not really seeing these in many stores just yet. The Ohana list is $117. I think for a laminate soprano that's a little bit heavy, but thankfully in the few stores that I found them, you're seeing these for more like $80. So shop around, you'll get a good deal from a registered Ohana dealer. I think Ohana are cool with that. I think at $80 it's about the right sort of price. The SK-10 was more like $50, so you're spending more for that extra detailing, the extra frets. But you know what? I think it looks nice. I think it looks like a little classy Martin ukulele, even though it's just a little entry-level laminate. I think it's far nicer than most entry-level laminates that I tend to see. It's really light. It's really well put together. I've found no flaws with this construction at all. Perfectly balanced down here, so you just don't really know you're holding it. It's perfect for a soprano. The Soprano sound kind of surprised me. The SK-10 I thought was a bit muted and a bit thin sounding. This is much warmer, and it's got that punch, that staccato punch that you'd expect from a soprano ukulele. Quite a bit of sustain as well for a little laminate entry level. What really surprised me was how it sounded picked, which isn't really what I associate with what you'd play on a soprano. It's very much a staccato rhythmical instrument, but it's really quite sweet, I think. Do you know what? I'm going to tune it because people say that I deliberately don't tune instruments. Let's just get that right. I know this is probably a very boring part of the video, but this is a new ukulele. There we go. Yeah, the E had gone out. That's a strobe tuner. See, I'm finding the bass and the trebles coming across together. It's really quite surprising for a little instrument that's cheap. Ohana SK-14, no, I'm not trying to make out that this is top-end tone. It's not top-end tone, it's not top-end price. It's a laminate entry-level ukulele. I wish people would pick things like this as their first instrument. You know, the 30 quid, $30 ukuleles are just not a patch on these. I think this stands its own. I'm not saying that there aren't others at the same sort of price that would match it, but I think they all tend to have issues in the build or the finish. I've got no issues with the build or the finish on this one. It's classy, it looks the part, it's light, it's punchy, it's a cheap little soprano. If I'd have started on one of these, I probably would have stuck with it far longer than the horrible Mahalo that I did start with when many years ago I first picked up a ukulele. It's nice that things like this still exist. If you're thinking about a first instrument, a beginner instrument, this is definitely worth a look. Ohana SK-14 laminate bodied mahogany soprano ukulele. Keep an eye on GotAUkulele. Read the full written review of this one, much nicer pictures and some more detail about the specs, and I'll be back with more reviews very soon. See you again.